Hi everyone, my name is Brandy Springstube and I will be your guide as we go through this journey of African American literature. I'm looking forward to working with all of you this summer and hope that we have a really good time together. I'm going to go through those same prompts that you had before, and I'm going to apologize now if my eyes kind of look like they are looking up because I don't know if you'll be able to see it past the mess, but I have another screen and I'll be referring to that screen and also to a notebook that is next to me as I make this video. So, I'm not rolling my eyes or trying to be rude, I'm just trying to see where my information is. Okay, so let's talk about me and reading. Reading is one of my favorite things to do, and I always have more than one book going at once. So, one of the first books I have going right now is this book called Race Talk and the Conspiracy of Silence. And I'm reading this for a faculty summer learning circle book club. And I get to be the leader for our first meeting next month. I also have The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper, which looks like it's going to be a really fun book. I just started it last night, and that I am reading for another book club that is kind of just a fun book club. And I also have to lead the discussion on that book. So I guess I'm getting all my book discussions done early in the summer, at least the leading part. And then finally, I like to listen to audiobooks when I'm in the car, and the one I have going right now is called Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. If you're interested in learning about Brené Brown, she has some really good TED Talks available on YouTube, and she also has a Netflix special that I think is called Call to Courage, and that was just released about maybe 2 weeks ago. Alright, so speaking of Brené Brown, the next question asks what's one of the most influential things you've read. Well, her books have been pretty influential for me. The main ones that have really had an impact on me have been The Gifts of Imperfection, Daring Greatly, and Braving the Wilderness. They all have been a source of encouragement to me and a way to overcome some things that have kind of held me back in my life. The most surprising book. Well, there have been a lot of surprising books, but I think one of the most surprising books I've read recently is The Four Agreements. I admit, before I started it, I thought it was going to be like some really crazy woo-woo book, and then I was going to end up rolling my eyes through the whole thing, but I was reading it for a book club, so I decided I'd give it a good old try, and I love that book. I have found so many things from that book that are applicable to my everyday life, and so I refer back to it quite a bit. And some of the writing projects that I've been working on recently in my own time have been inspired by that book. Alright, so writing projects. As much as I like reading, I also like writing. I know, I'm one of those weird people, but I know there's at least one more of you in this class, so I have at least one friend. So, what's the most recent thing you've written? Well, besides the syllabus and all the materials for this class, which has been quite a bit of writing, and will continue to be quite a bit of writing for the next several weeks, I wrote a poem recently that was about the loss of a dream. And I tell people that it's the Langston part, so referring to Langston Hughes in A Dream Deferred. And then the Maya part, the Maya Angelou part, the Still Rising, I Will Rise part will hopefully be written soon. Let's see. I also have written a bunch of text messages, because we do that, right? Okay. The most important thing I've written, I would say that was my graduate school application essay on Till We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. That's been another book that's been pretty influential to me, and just the way I was able to approach that and writing about that book in that particular essay gave me kind of a new way to look at that sort of writing, that sort of analytical, critical, synthesis-based writing that I hadn't really thought about before, and kind of transformed through the way I wrote in graduate school, and has greatly impacted, of course, the way I write now. Let's see, what else for writing? Oh, something you've written for fun. Well, okay, so last year I had some virus. It could have been the flu, it could have been bronchitis, it could have been both. I don't really like going to the doctor, so I don't really know what it was. But I spent a lot of time just kind of lying around in bed, like, blah. And while I was lying around in bed, I decided to look up some writing prompts on Pinterest. And I came across a prompt that started a story that I'm still working on, and I'm really enjoying it. And it's called Victoria's Story, because I don't really know what its real title is yet, but I'll know sometime. And I'm just having a lot of fun playing with fiction, which is something I've never really done seriously before. And so that has also prompted me to start a few other stories along the way. So I have a few other short stories in the works, but I think Victoria's Story might actually grow up to be a novel. We'll see. Alright, so things about me. So I ask where you're from, and that is actually a question that I absolutely don't like, because I grew up moving around every couple of years. My dad was in the Air Force, and so we moved a lot, which was a really good thing in my opinion. I got to experience a lot of different things, see a lot of parts of the world that I maybe never would have experienced and seen otherwise. So I'm very grateful for that. But it makes it really hard to answer the question, well, where are you from? Now I just say I'm from here, because I've been here longer than I've been anywhere in my life. I've been teaching at GRCC for 8 years, mostly composition classes, and every once in a while they let me teach one of the literature classes that one of our longtime instructors decides they want to take a break from. So, that's kind of the way things work. Those who have been around for a really long time get first pick of classes, and the rest of us get what's left. But really what's left is stuff that I love anyway. Hobbies and interests, artistic tastes, all of that kind of stuff. Well, obviously I love writing and reading. I also like gardening and playing music. I play piano and a little bit of guitar, and I like to sing, and I like to view art. I am very, very bad at creating anything that could even resemble art, but I love to view art, and I would say I really like Impressionism. I like Monet. I really like, I guess, things more in that Impressionist kind of style. Would be what I gravitate to most, but I like lots of art, lots of different kinds. Music, again, I love lots of different kinds of music. Let's see. The interest in this course, I was pretty excited about getting to teach this course, because the person who usually teaches it, and I never thought I'd have a chance to teach this one, but it's a particular, I guess if there's any American literature that I enjoy, it's this African American literature. I just think there's a lot that's really unique and special about it, and I think that it has the power to affect the way we see the world and see the people around us and see the great diversity that's in our country, especially growing up in an area where it's not very diverse. Of course, I grew up in a military community, which again had diversity, but I think that most of my influences were very similar to what you would get here in West Michigan. with a few exceptions. Let's see, if I could have one super ability, what would it be? I don't even know how to answer that question. I always tell people that my biggest superpower is invisibility, but I'm not really sure that that's what I would want. I think I would want the ability to make a positive difference in people's lives, especially people who are overlooked or marginalized, without having to go through political channels or rely on huge financial resources. Other than that, I would say that I'm really looking forward to this class, looking forward to the next 10 weeks together, and hope that you are as well. Please contact me anytime you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.